Now we all know that Midjourney is amazing, but yet again they have outdone themselves with today's release of the alpha for testing version 5's algorithms. They have a wide variety of new features that you could see on the screen, specifically new parameters including tile for like textures that repeat, aspect ratios greater than 2:1, so something like 16:9, which could fit on 1920 by 1080 screens. And then finally the IW parameter, which gives images weight. Let's get into it. Now this is the first image that I created using this new version of Midjourney. On the Discord, they actually released some notes, few of which I really want to mention here. The first thing is that this model can generate much more realistic imagery than anything that they have released before. And I think that this image really speaks to that. At first glance, I feel like the average person would not be able to tell that this is an AI. Another thing is that it's much more unopinionated than version 3 and version 4. It is tuned to provide a wide diversity of outputs and be a lot more responsive to your inputs. So let's actually see what my inputs were. A high-res image, 1960s style image, beautiful adult woman, curly hair, blue eyes, red hair, yellow sundress, blue sky, vintage car in the background, neighborhood, professional photography, dramatic lighting. And I honestly think it fulfilled every single one of my text-based prompts here. Now, a few things aren't really present, like the blue sky. Okay, but it got the hair right, and there isn't any of those minute details or any of those weird aspects in the generation, like multiple fingers or the wrong color for the eyes or anything like that. Everything is spot on. Another thing is that the aspect ratio I changed to 16:9 for this particular image, and it's a huge image. It can fit a full screen. As you can see that this is actually a rather long prompt. It is also specified in the notes that this version of Midjourney performs better with longer prompts as opposed to shorter prompts. So let's go ahead and see what else we can generate. For my next image, I decided to do the scene of a New York City bodega with crowded people, winter attire, cluttered, food being served at a deli counter with some dark lighting. And as you can see, I feel like it did a pretty good job for this one as well. Now, there is some mistakes being made. If you look at the top left corner, you can see some things that quite don't make sense. It looks jumbled up. That might be because I put cluttered or just because there's a lot going on in the image. There also seems to be some text errors. It can't really do text correctly, obviously, but other than that, I think the people look real, and especially that image of the gentleman on the left looks like a real person. This looks like a real deli, and again, without inspecting the image, you wouldn't be able to tell that this is AI. So I was curious and decided to go ahead and use the same text-based prompt for version 4 of Midjourney, and this was my output. Still a good image, but you can instantly tell from a distance that this is not an actual picture of people at a bodega in New York. Unlike the other one, you might second guess yourself. For the next image, I decided to do this editorial style photo of a modern living room type area. Again, New York City vibe. And the thing that I really like about this photo is there's a lot going on. It's a simple photo. There isn't a lot of clutter. There's a lot of space, but you actually get the background of the New York City buildings beyond the windows. You have these subtle shadows, like at the carpet there, where you can see the carpet. It almost looks like this is a picture you'd find in like an Airbnb listing or on Zillow.com, where they're really trying to sell this high-end apartment or something of that nature. Again, it isn't completely perfect. I feel like this one is actually a little bit more noticeable that it might not be real, but again, first glance, it really does look convincing, and I think it's really amazing upgrade from what we had in version 4. Again, for the sake of consistency, I went ahead and threw this one in Midjourney version 4 as well. It looks like a pretty good image, but I think this one is a little more obvious that it is AI generated. Although it still looks really good, it still has good lighting, I find it to be a lot less dynamic. There's less contrast between the dark and the light pixels in the image. Another thing mentioned in the notes was that it will take image-based prompts into consideration a lot better. So I went ahead and got this image of Korean beef bibimbap off Google Images, and I used it as a reference image for our new prompt. And this was the result that I received, and it looks amazing. The detail on the egg, the sesame seeds on the beef, even the vegetables stick pretty closely to the same format as the ones in the original image. Now, it isn't perfect, but I found this to be an enormous upgrade, especially because I am using the new parameter IW, which applies a weight to an image. Now, the values that this parameter takes is from 0.5 to 2. 2 will make it closer to the image, and 0.5 will deviate greater. I went with 1.5 because I wanted it to be pretty close. Now, this is a completely new feature. Midjourney version 4 didn't have any way to apply weight to images versus text, so I really like this change. It might be my favorite one, and it can allow you to create some amazing images just by going on Pinterest or Twitter and downloading the image and throwing it into your prompt and seeing what it does. Finally, I went ahead and decided to try out the tile parameter. Honestly, I could not generate an image that I was very happy with using this parameter. The one on screen is the best one that I was able to create, and it doesn't look that amazing, to be honest. Now, it did say that this is an experimental parameter, and this is the alpha version of version 5 for Midjourney, so I'm sure they'll improve upon it, and maybe I'll also learn how to prompt better for this particular parameter. But that will be the end of this video. If you liked it, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like and subscribe to the video and leave a comment down below whatever I should do next. And other than that, take care.